And we're back with more BattleTech. This time around, we're looking at the Thor/Summoner. Maybe a different name for the same one. But as always, before we begin, make sure to go and leave a like and subscribe to Tex. The link to that should be at the very top of the description, as always. Oh, and once again, to reiterate, for anybody wondering, why aren't you doing so-and-so video yet? I'm going to be doing these in chronological order, so if it's a video that is later on in the playlist, don't worry, we'll get to it eventually.
Howdy there folks, Tex of the Black Pants Legion here. This is a series called Tex Talks BattleTech, which if you're not familiar with it, it's because YouTube has more or less declared war on fun.
Oh
this
no,
is a
what
segment
happened?
where I talk about the universe of BattleTech, from the mechs to the pilots to the history that contains them. This entry was chosen by my fans and subscribers on a channel poll, polls which you may see if you are indeed a subscriber. This time around, we're covering the Thor. So you may be asking yourself, what the hell is a Thor? Well, firstly, only some of you are going to call it a Thor. Dirty clanners are going to call it a summoner, because they're Jade Falcon, and they don't like anything, and they're so keen to conquer the inner sphere, and then
oh my god. All of this narration from an in-universe perspective. I always enjoy it because it gives a different flavor to the lore read, as opposed to simply just reading a summarized info of what it is. So yeah, the Thor and /Summoner is of the same mech, it's just referred to differently depending on whether you're inside or you're part of the clans.
To lose to space AT&T. Comstar for life,
Everybody
baby.
loses to space AT&T.
Well, okay, let's get back to the main points. What the inner sphere designated the Thor, they did so after the Old Norse god of fucking shit up. Lightning, storms, and strength, and oak trees?
And Groot.
Yeah, oak trees. I'm not making that up. God of oak. The inner sphere labeled the Thor as such because it's robust as all hell. The Thor is a highly mobile 70-ton OmniMech with respectable jump capacity. It hits like a fucking truck and it can get in your face in seconds. As I am massively inclined to call myself proudly a citizen of the inner sphere,
I just noticed, yeah, it has a speed of 86 kilometers per hour. Comparatively to the Irby that we saw last episode, which was around like, what, 35, 36-ish? This is moving a lot faster, you could say, but probably also a lot more expensive.
Going to refer to this mech as the Thor from here on out. Clanners can downvote at their leisure, but I will be challenging them to a trial of possession for their pants shortly. We'll see how that shakes out. Now, OmniMech is clanner speak for Clan Coyote Space Magic. Basically, an OmniMech is a massively configurable, customizable modular weapon system. The Thor is a 70-ton OmniMech that is essentially a wild card, capable of being fit into any combat role and excelling at it.
Gotcha.
Or at least...
I mean, just the customizability of so-and-so OmniMech leads me to believe that, yeah, it's going to be a expensive piece of equipment that is kind of hard to get your hands on. Because I mean, like, just logically speaking, if you're making a mech that is designed to do one specific thing, you can kind of just mass produce that more easily.
Being very competent in a general configuration within the tonnage of a heavy mech. Whereas many OmniMechs generally trend towards specialization within a niche and a variety within that specialization. The Thor is a clan heavy that is reasonably balanced across mobility, bang bang, and durability. As well, it is notably reliable and fairly common across all clanner developments. In most cases, the Thor has an advanced, lightweight, and very reliable Redline 350XL engine that drives the mech comfortably to its combat speed of 86 kilometers per hour. For communication, the Thor carries a model JD-067, manufactured for use in the Thor and the Thor only by Clan.
I wonder if the comms has any bearings on the tabletop at all. I feel like it's more of a lore-specific thing, and likely doesn't play too much into an actual game, but I could be wrong. Imagine if, like, you were playing BattleTech. I don't know if there's part damage, but what if your comms got damaged and so you lost communications with whatever unit that you were controlling and you lost sight of said area because you can't communicate with them if they were like a scout unit or something. I guess that could be cool, but also pretty annoying. As most fog of war in video games tends to be. And I should know, I play XCOM.
And Jade Falcon. The targeting system is a Hawkeye 58 serving targeting and tracking plus advanced fire control. Being jump capable to 150 meters in a single bound is combined with its speed to afford extreme mobility for a heavy mech. Its armor is advanced Clanner ferrofibrous, and it has 9.5 tons of it in most configurations, so it's a fairly robust mech in the damage mitigation department. Rounding things out for heat mitigation are 14 double heat sinks, which allow it to use its weapons free without much need or worry of heat management. The history of the Thor is somewhat shrouded, mainly because the Clanners are an insular culture, to say the least. Starting in 2863, the mech was introduced by Clan Jade Falcon after acquiring the OmniMech technology from Clan Coyote. Between that time and the clan invasion crossing into the periphery.
Why did Clan Coyote specifically have this OmniMech technology? Was this part of the tech that was kind of lost through the years after the Civil War, and they just so happened to stumble upon it and somehow convert it into more modern use and production?
Periphery. In the late 3040s, the clan more or less used it for slap fights. I mean, honor duels amongst themselves. Based on this continued infighting.
Yeah, that's right. I remember from our reaction to the Battle of Tokyo that a lot of things get decided between clanners through these duels. Very headstrong and very fight and strongest leads kind of thing. They also don't really communicate with each other very often because, you know, pride and all that, which is kind of what ended up making the Battle of Tokyo a lot more easier. Well, it wasn't exactly an easy battle, but we were able to win because of that lack of communication, as well as several other factors.
Between genetically engineered super soldiers driven by an honor-burdened military society, the Thor was developed into quite an effective murder platform, and the clanners who drove them learned how to apply the weapon where it did the most damage. So, after nearly 2 centuries of practice with the damn thing, the clans invaded the Inner Sphere and pretty much blew everyone away. Metaphorically as well as quite literally blowing everyone away. As it turns out, having a 200-year plus edge on somebody because you didn't lose technology stupidly through technological regression over the course of 4 months.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, okay. I almost forgot about that bit of lore. The clanners left, whereas everybody within the Inner Sphere fought, and then we ended up losing that tech, which is why the clanners are much more well-equipped, despite being smaller in number.
Massive wars is pretty goddamn powerful. Namely, alongside extremely competent and capable commanders, the clans managed to smash the hell out of the Inner Sphere in a blitzkrieg not since recreated in the history of the Inner Sphere.
Was this when the clanners invaded all the way almost to the middle of the Inner Sphere? I think the map kind of updates constantly, depending on what year you're looking at it in. Or maybe that updates per edition of the tabletop? That I'm not too sure, but in lore, probably per year.
One-on-one, tonnage for tonnage, Inner Sphere pilots found themselves outmatched by better machinery, pilots bred for the purpose of driving it into combat, and a technological edge that bordered on nightmare fuel. As for Thor...
We've talked about the mechs, but we haven't talked about the pilots. Are the pilots, like, also maybe cybernetically enhanced? Do they have some sort of genetic mutation or gene modification in order to become a super soldier? Are they simply just more well-trained? This makes me think to, like, Titanfall lore, I think that was the name of the game. Where, like, the mech pilots in those games were also super soldiers who could respectively hold their own against several men, or maybe even a small army. Take this with a grain of salt though, because I'm still not very familiar with the lore. I only know bits and pieces from when I took a look at Apex Legends. Or I guess something I might be a little more familiar with. I say might because I still have yet to play the games. How do mech pilots compare to like Spartans from Halo? Let's say like a Spartan 4 or 5.
Variants. Well, there's a lot, so buckle the fuck up. As stated, this is an OmniMech, and therefore the notion of a primary or standard configuration is laughable.
Whatever
Clans
you need,
each have
put
their
it
own
on it,
preferences, and each mission may carry custom loadouts. Clanners customize their rides more than a jingle truck driver in Afghanistan, or a Solaris jock on Solaris 7, or that kid around the block who bought a 1988 Honda Civic hatchback and won't stop talking about the sick time he's been putting in down at the track. The closest we can get to a default configuration most would find unimaginative, but damned effective by 3050 standards. One ERPPC, one LB-10X autocannon, and one LRM-15. These 3 weapons allow it to fight at long to medium range comfortably, with the knowledge they can easily redeploy at a moment's notice if things get dicey.
Bro, I recall reading so many comments of so many people explaining all of these abbreviations for me. All I can remember at the moment is like, LRM is probably long range missile 15, meaning there's 15 of them. And the LB is probably laser something. I think this is one of those things that I'm just gonna need some hands-on experience with. And by that, I mean just play the video game. And when we customize things here and there, I'll probably get more used to these terms.
Now as for alternative variants. Okay. Let's dive into these quickly because there are...
Or maybe LB is large ballistic, because it's an autocannon. I don't know.
Umpteen bajillion of them. Each clan vehicle is like this because clanners only think in terms of war. That explains their music and culture. Take that, right in the fields, if you had any, which you don't. Alternative Configuration A replaces all weaponry with a Gauss rifle, a large pulse laser, and an SRM-6. Alternative Configuration B carries 2 LRM-20s to become King of Mistletown. And for short range, as 2 SRM-4s, because if you're going to die to ammunition explosions, you might as well be seen from orbit.
What? Is the blast radius for those that big? Hey, if you're gonna go out, you might as well go out with a bang.
Alternative Configuration C is your general worst nightmare build because it jumps into range and it has an ER large laser, an ultra autocannon 20, and streak SRM-6s because fuck you, you can't have nice things. The D model is balanced. It has 2 ER large lasers for long range, 2 ER medium lasers for shorter-ish range, and an advanced targeting computer plus machine guns to handle proles on foot, and an anti-missile system round things out so you can stand there and strut around like a total Chad in a war zone.
Does a mech with a targeting system mean that it gets like better rolls when it tries to attack and misses less often? That's the only thing I can assume.
Model E is chock full of advanced tactical missiles with an ERPPC for backup. When you have an ERPPC for backup purposes, you're talking about a clan mech. Model F
have 6
is
ATMs.
Sometimes known as the King of DACA because it has 2 rapid-firing Ultra AC-5s, 1 in each arm, plus 2 ER medium lasers for backup, and an LRM-10 to discourage everything else.
Favorite configuration.
Because it's funny. Model G is a sniping variant, blending the model's stated rapid mobility and pairing it with 1 ERPPC and 1 large laser. For backup, 6 SRM-4s because light scout mechs need to die in 1 pull of the trigger. Model H is a Model T but on space crack. 2 heavy large lasers plus 2 ER medium lasers and a targeting computer allows for it to decide who dies and then make them do so directly by surgically applying overwhelming heavy damage to where it will have catastrophic hilarious effect.
Or maybe a targeting computer can be used to target specific parts of another mech. That could be pretty cool if you like take out the engine or the heat sinks or whatever is like the weakest part of whatever mech you're facing off against.
Well, Model M is driven by a cartoon overlord by the name of Nikolai Malthus. This guy's an idiot. He's such an idiot that his appearances are non-canonical, apocryphal.
Okay.
Except in the sense that the whole cartoon is now considered an in-universe propaganda. That's how you fucking retcon, by the way. You hear me, GW?
Hey, yes, I was gonna say. Oh man, thank you so much, Tex. Yeah. We're getting Warhammer and GW, getting rid of Warhammer Fantasy. How could they? But you kind of learn as a Warhammer fan that when things get retconned, even the cool things, you just gotta accept it it happens, and just move on.
You hear me, Games Workshop? This is how you fucking retcon.
Preach!
You take something
Preach!
that's weird that doesn't fit anymore, that's so goddamn strange that it made it onto actual television, and you go, oh well, this is propaganda from the Tharkat Broadcast Company, and you retcon it as an in-universe tongue-in-cheek joke.
Yes!
Boom. Handled. So in short, the Model M is driven by this guy. Just don't be this guy. Okay?
Okay.
He abducted a whole planet to play funny. Seriously.
What?
There are even more variants. Far more. In the novel, there's a fellow by the name of Aiden Pride. Pryde being his blood name. And more on that later if you fucks vote for it. Anyway, he's in quite a few books that the setting has produced, namely Blood Name, Way of the Clans, and Falcon Guard. And as an aside, look, if your military insignia is a fucking bird holding a katana, fix that shit. Falcon Guard or not, you can do better. Anyways, Aiden loved the quote summoner.
Hey, maybe they're legit weebs. And hey, we accept them. Unless if they're just straight up weirdos. Then maybe not. But I guess to some people, simply watching anime or like watching a VTuber on YouTube is weird. I just find it such a strange concept because like, my content wouldn't change if I was using a face cam.
Unquote, and favored an Ultra AC-10 and an Ultra AC-5 with 2 ER medium lasers and 2 clan anti-missile systems. And he was okay in it.
Nice.
Until he got smoked by Comstar.
Not nice.
Some would blame the fact that he drove a Timberwolf that day as no summoner was available in his garrison cluster.
Oh.
But also it's Comstar. And Comstar tends not to fuck around.
I mean, they always win.
The Thor has a few famous pilots. Being that it's actually a decent weapons platform and rides the line between small heavy and assault territory while not compromising the all-important balance for a good mech to become truly great in the right hands, the Thor has routinely lended itself to historical excellence.
This kind of reminds me of, what do you call them? I'm still trying to learn like fighting game terms because I recently got into Guilty Gear Strive and I've been absolutely loving it. But I think there's a fighting game archetype called like a Shoto, which I believe means that they're a more balanced character, as in like pretty much like the main character of an anime. That's kind of what the Thor seems to me. It seems to be like a starter mech or like the main character mech. One that doesn't specialize in anything but has infinite possibility.
Famous pilots include Aiden Pride, who managed to be a fucking legend in Jade Falcon before he got curb stomped by Space AT&T for not paying his bills. Con Martha Pride drove one on and off her whole damn life. Star Commander Joanna smashed Con Natasha Karinsky at Twycross, driving a Thor all the while. Famous Inner Sphere pilots, you ask? Well, no. We tend to drive the flashier Mad Cat because it makes clanners mad when we turn it into a wrecking ball for Solaris games.
I see.
Now as for other interesting facts.
Not really.
I have to start with this. Before you go, oh man, Tex, it sounds like an anti-everything weapon wrapped in sexy, sexy forbidden technology. God, it's harder than an elemental's abs on core strength day. Consider this.
Oh my.
For the price of a Thor. For the price of a single Thor.
How much can you buy?
21,320,834 C-bills. You could buy 11 Urban Mechs, or 7 Rommels, or 3 Awesomes plus spare parts.
3 Awesomes?
2 Atlases plus spare parts, or 30 Elementals and all their honor, or...
Wait, what are elementals? So that's what an elemental is? Is it like a suit rather than a mech? They're cheaper than an Urby? Checking the playlist, there is a video called Exodus to Elementals, the Primer of the Clans Part 2, so we'll probably learn more about them then. And it looks like the Mad Cat video is the next one that we're going to be doing.
In 3052 C-build conversion rates, you could buy enough burgers from Federated Fast Food to become king of Meat Mountain. Until the birds showed up.
Life goals.
Birds always ruin Meat Mountain. Where was I?
Damn birds.
Clan shit is expensive. Keep this in mind. While it is an anti-everything platform that does everything really well, it can be easily further configured to do any specific thing better than anyone else. it's also really fucking expensive. In the large scheme of things, the Thor is the bass guitarist of any kick-ass rock band. Sure, he's as important as all get out, but he plays second string to the main show, which is the Timberwolf, or as I call it, the Mad Cat. Because you lost, Clanners. You lost.
Okay, well, maybe my assessment was wrong. Maybe the Mad Cat is more the main character in this scenario.
You had every single edge, and you lost. Yes, I'm biased. Long live the Inner Sphere. Remember May 20th, 3052, you clan bastards. We're coming for you. Anyways,
sure?
Till next time, or until YouTube decides you shouldn't watch me at all, I'm Tex. My editor is Matt Asgardian. And now, motherfucking Duncan Fisher.
Okay, Duncan, we've got a few minutes before the next match. How about we cut some of these spots while we're waiting? You need some water?
What is going on?
Water? No. I could use a refill, though. No, I'm good for now. Bottle's in here. Let's get them done. Let's see.
All right. Let's start with the Steiner Investment Council spot.
Okay, Rick. Let's do this Blackhead Legion one.
Okay, but it's actually Black Pants Legion.
Oh, right. Of course. I knew that. You should get the lighting fixed in here, Rick.
Right. Okay, rolling. Whenever you're ready.
Hello, everybody. Duncan Fisher here. You know, BattleMechs and the Solaris arenas are a passion of mine, but today I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you about the Black Pants Legion. What is...
Okay, it's kind of funny learning about this in reverse. I think we did hear from this guy, or he was referenced in a video that I watched earlier. Or no, maybe that was a BattleTech 101. He showed up there. Obviously, I had no idea what was going on. But yeah, I'm assuming this is his very first appearance within the series.
Is the Black Pants Legion, you may ask? It's a fantastic
Duncan, you're putting a bit too much emphasis on the word pants.
Of course. Got it. From the top. Hello, everybody. Duncan Fisher here. You know, BattleMechs and the Solaris arenas are a passion of mine, but today I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you about the Black Pants Legion. What is the Black Pants Legion, you may ask? It's a fine...
Now you're saying black.
Oh, we're emphasizing black, yeah.
Let's keep rolling. Today,
this voice acting work is
I'd like to
phenomenal.
take this opportunity to tell you about the Black Pants Club. What is the Black Pants Club?
No, it's Legion, not club. Look, how about I get you some water or black coffee? How do you take
black coffee?
Take it with a double shot of Irish whiskey. What's your point?
Dang. It's hardcore.
Well, I'm getting a lot of dry mouth sounds, like you're dehydrated, or maybe we should do these tomorrow morning. Maybe after you've sobered, when I have some food or something.
Oh, I see. Fuck you, Rick. I am not drunk, or even a little tipsy. Listen,
are you sure
whoever
about that?
wrote this script for the Black Pants Legion has never watched the show. This script is bullshit. It's fake. You know why I don't do a lot of commercials, Rick? It's not because I'm pretty fucking expensive to hire. It's because I have to believe in a product to endorse it. Usually...
Wait, are we going into an ad read?
It's a pretty goddamn endorsable show in my book. I love it. Even watched it once, for Christ's sake. The Black Pants Legion may be the last fucking bastion of unadulterated fun on YouTube. I mean,
true.
It isn't the sort of channel that has an adenoidally challenged British kid being snarky for the sake of videos. It's not some fucking punk-run channel where grown men fall out of their chair at jump scares like some millennial bitch. It's actually a fucking rarity on YouTube, being a channel that has never tried to be fucking monetized and regularly gives the finger to the man. I mean, shit. Everyone's a goddamn sellout these days. Hawking games that don't work, selling shit that's garbage, shitting on their fans. So many channels are just talking heads whose only...
This is so sad because it's still so true, and it might be becoming even more true considering how the algorithm has evolved. It kind of encourages this sort of behavior, and it always makes me think of old YouTube, where, you know, YouTube was actually about the people and not the product that they're selling, or like highly optimized editing in order to keep viewers' attention so that the audience retention is there. Therefore, the algorithm propels your video up by using certain techniques like putting TikToks everywhere in your video, or during an ad read, having a freaking bar that slows down the closer it gets to finishing to like trick your viewers into watching the entire ad read because, oh, it's almost done. My favorite type of content has always been about people who are super passionate about something and they just want to tell you all about it. It just makes me feel nice inside to listen to them talk about it, which is why I've really been enjoying this series from Tex. We need more of that, and maybe someday the algorithm can evolve for that, but considering that it's optimized for money making now, unfortunately, probably not.
Point is to sell a product, and there's no heart in that. And I'm all about fucking heart, that's for damn sure. I love the games on Solaris, and I fucking love the mech jocks who give it their all. If you pour your goddamn heart and passion into something, then you've got my respect. So, yeah.
I can agree with that.
The Black Pants Legion is the kind of YouTube channel where a misanthrope drinks his scotch, smokes his cigars, and says whatever the hell he wants for hours at a time. Kind of reminds me of myself, now that I think about it. No scripts, infrequently edited, and brutally honest. The Black Pants Legion is worth subscribing to. The question is, are you Legion material? Fuck it. All right, let's record this piece of shit script before I change my mind.
Actually, Duncan, I think we just did.
It worked out, yeah.
I'll cut it up and send it off. But seriously, you really should ease up on the scotch during your show.
Yeah, maybe you're right, Rick. Nah, fuck you. I'm Duncan Fisher. Ha!
Oh, wow. That was fantastic. You heard it here first, folks. If you haven't subscribed already, head over to the link at the top of the description. Make sure to support Tex and all the work that he does for us. But that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.